purchased in 1918 for a little girl, Okiku, who died less than a year later of a severe flu. In her memory, the family set up the large doll in a shrine. Eventually, they noticed that the doll's hair, which was originally just a bob, had been steadily growing, even after being cut. This led them to believe that the girl's spirit must have moved on into the doll. Since 1938, Okiku has been on display in the Menenji Temple, where people regularly visit her. The hair has allegedly been tested in a lab, and it was concluded to indeed be human hair.
Holy. First of all, I don't quite understand people's need to buy a doll to replace a deceased person. They're like, oh, this person's died, I loved them, so I'm gonna buy a doll that looks exactly like them and then act like this doll is real. That's not healthy. Like, that's not the best way to grieve, I'd say. And plus, okay, the doll's hair's growing, pretty weird. Yeah, the child's probably inside the body, like, body of the doll. Like, it's happening. The child's making the hair grow. Or dolls are so like legit now. I remember growing up, all I ever wanted was one of those dolls, like the babies that could cry. Don't know why, because now I'm like dreading that. But that's all I wanted. It would just cry. You'd lay it down, it would just start crying. It was like real. I never got it though. So I believe that there's probably dolls out there where the hair grows. That seems right.
Passes over her, appears to change the direction of her eyes every single time. Then at one point, she actually closes one of her eyes. Very weird. After that video, Brian decided to shoot a video of just that doll. And in that video, you can see the doll move her eyes around and even open and close her mouth.
That doll's going through something. That doll... That doll looked like me this morning. That's what happened. She's just been on a bender. She doesn't know what way she's supposed to be looking. She's like, act natural. No one will know. But she's like, ooh, when the alcohol hits. Poor doll. I mean, I don't find it creepy. I feel for her. Like, she's like getting caught in the act. She's losing her cool. She's bad performance.
An ancient European gypsy marionette. At least 200 years old, it was discovered under an abandoned house in New South Wales, Australia. Owner Kerry Walton has gone on record many times admitting the terrifying consequences of finding such a doll. Objects move, items fall off walls, and in its presence, people and animals alike tend to freak out. In early attempts to sell the doll, he would suddenly feel utterly incapable of following through.
A lady had rung me and wanted to buy it, and I tried to take him out of the car, but I don't know, I just couldn't take him out. It was really weird.
Of course it's an Australian. Seems right. Seems like an Australian thing to do, have this weird f***ing marionette. That's the last thing I want in my house. Like, he's like, oh, I just couldn't get rid of him. It was like weird, I tried. Get your act together, burn it to the ground. The doll is also scary. The face looks like it's just in pain. It looks like there's a real person in there, like House of Wax, and they've just turned a person into a marionette, and it's like, get me out. Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Central Dark, your place for all things horror. I'm your host, Lucy McPhee, and these are the top 10 scary dolls caught moving on camera. Let's go.
Haunted Herald was allegedly purchased at a flea market from someone who said his son died shortly after getting the doll himself. Refusing to heed the warning, the new owner took the doll home. Within 2 days, his cat died, his girlfriend left him, and he began having chronic migraines. This doesn't even include the laughing and crying children he kept hearing in his basement, or the fact that the doll seemed to have a pulse. The current owner, Anthony Quinata, now has a YouTube page where he asks Herald questions and tries to investigate its history.
This is for sure. I feel like this is like a long scheme. Like, this guy's just fooling us. Like, it's an elaborate story that we're all falling into this trap, but I kind of enjoy it. Like, I'm gonna have to watch this guy's YouTube channel. He got this weird doll in a bag, Harold the doll, right? Harold? I can't remember. And then, as soon as he got this new doll, his girlfriend left him, his cat died, he got migraines. All sucks. But instead of getting rid of the doll, he keeps him, and now he uploads him onto YouTube. And the doll has a heartbeat. Just doesn't seem right to me. Seems a little fishy.
Crystal, True, Monica, Charla, Isaac, Lily, Ashley, and Cameron were all purchased individually based on their supernatural reputations. The Watkins family then brought them together in their Pennsylvania home and set up a 24-hour stream. Over the years, fans of the aptly named Dollhouse have gathered on the webpage forum to discuss the alleged paranormal events caught on camera. Most notable was the footage of a ghostly apparition caught in 2009 of what seems to be a spectral young boy at the bottom of their staircase. Sadly, the stream stopped updating in 2015.
And like that, he's gone.
Creepy. I forgot before recording that this was a doll video. And now I remember this is all dolls, and I hate dolls, they're horrible. First of all, look at that collection. Why would you collect that many dolls? I don't trust dolls. I also definitely don't trust porcelain dolls. They're the worst. They're the ones that will kill you. You wake up and there's a porcelain doll above you with a knife. I'm gonna get your jugular, you know? Not a chance. I don't even want to watch the stream of these dolls. I don't want to be associated with these dolls. I want to pretend they don't exist. But the stream just mysteriously stopped in 2015 because the dolls killed the owner. That's what happened. Are they alive? Probably not. Probably not. Deceased.
It all began on April 23rd, 2005, which some of you may know as the day the first ever YouTube video was uploaded. Mere moments after that very first video was uploaded to this very site, a second video immediately went live. Within mere minutes, the video disappeared from the site, never to surface again, with only a few people managing to see it before it vanished. This screenshot here is said to be the only surviving evidence of the now mythical video.
That's terrifying. Not only is it a creepy doll, the whole thing is like a weird conspiracy theory. What's the reasoning? This is the second video ever uploaded to YouTube. And then it got deleted just seconds after. Look at this creepy doll. There's someone lying in that bed and this doll's like hovering over them, ready to end them. End their whole life. I hate it. I hate that they're dressed, like fully. They've got their hairs braided, everything's done. It's like a child. People need to stop buying dolls to replace their dead family members. It's not normal.
The footage starts out as simply a still shot of the doll head sitting in its case. Its eyes at this stage are shut and its mouth slightly open. It's not clear where the video was taken, but it seems to be some sort of museum or room of displays. The clip just seems like your average security cam footage. However, after just a few short seconds, the doll's eyes slide open, and shortly after that, the display case swings open. From here, it shuts its eyes, and its mouth begins to move like it has something to say. It was probably something like, "Get me out of here." Well, mate, you're not alone.
There's something about dolls. The spirits want to be inside of them. Look through their plastic little eyes and do nothing. I mean, a spirit in this doll, sorry, you're not going very far. You're just a head in a museum. You can't do anything to me. You can't kill me.
This video is unnerving to watch from the get-go. The dim lighting and slow camera movement leaves the viewer wondering if something's gonna jump out of nowhere, a little bit like a scene out of Child's Play. As the fan spins away above the group of dolls, the camera zooms in on a select group, and that's when you see it. At 48 seconds in, you could easily blink and miss it. The moment where a doll moves its arm ever so slightly up and then down. It's quick, but it is there. It happens so quickly, but when you go back and watch it again or in slow motion, it's genuinely quite scary.
That's terrifying. Like, there's no rhyme or reason for that to happen unless there's someone hiding between the dolls and is like, let's move the doll arm. Not a chance though, that doll's alive. He was like waving to the camera and was like, no, I've got to pretend I'm not on camera. I've got to pretend I'm not alive. His arm, that was creepy, no way. Unless the arm was positioned and then it just fell. No, it's real. That doll's alive and it's gonna kill everyone. Also, I just do not understand people's fascination. Why have this many dolls? It's just taking up space. Have that room be a bedroom. Turn that into a office. Turn it into a gym. Turn it into an empty room. Like, just lay in the middle of the floor.
The puppet was said to have choked its former owner in the middle of the night, so he was understandably locked away in a sealed glass container. The footage that was released is barely 60 seconds long, but gives us more than enough information to be completely spooked. Quite frankly, watching the footage is unnerving enough without the knowledge of what this particular fellow was capable of doing prior to his imprisonment. The footage is simply of the puppet sitting in its container, and for the majority of it, the puppet just starts repetitively moving its foot up and down. It takes its time in doing so, which makes things even more eerie looking.
That's the doll's leg. I thought that was like a piece of wood, you know, the wood that you go like this with the puppet. That's its leg, and it's just like pounding it back and forth, like, let me out of my glass container. Also, the weird thing is, the doll tried to strangle its owner, and the owner was like, oh yeah, I could throw this doll away. Just kidding, I won't. I'll put it in a box, and it's gonna watch me while I sleep and tap its little wooden leg.
Doll mysteriously appeared in a man's garden one day, and not knowing what to do with it, he just gave it to his dog. However, the man knew something creepy was going on when he noticed that the dog would never enter the room where the doll was, and the dog would always be scared whenever the doll was near. So, as his owner grew suspicious, he set up a video camera to see what was going on. He caught the doll moving. Watch as the doll just falls back on its own. No word on what happened to the doll or the dog.
No word on what happened to the doll or the dog. Well, the doll falls back because it is an inanimate object. Anyway, it's always gonna fall down. Like, where's the weight? Although the weight is in its, it still went back. It looked like it got hit by something. That's what it looked like. And the poor dog, they're like, no word on what happened to the dog. I think the dog's fine. Don't think that doll's killing it. But that doll was creepy. I hated that it had no features. It was just there. Well, there we have it. Thanks for tuning into this video. I've been your host, Lucy McPhee. Stick around for bloopers. Like, right?
I did.
You've donated your hair? Do you still have it attached to your head?
I didn't first. I shaved it off and gave it to the lost blood.
Oh, good. That's really cool. Are you growing it again to do that?
I might actually. I think if I teach cut it, I might just shave it again. So.
I can't even imagine you with the shaved head.
There's a lot on Facebook actually.
I'll creep you. I'll creep your page.
Yeah.
I'm just like, got really nothing in me to give today. Oh, Doge.
Doge. I'm broke on Doge.
Oh, you went broke on Doge? Oh, I went big.
I just didn't need. I just sat.
Oh,
We go broke, but
yeah.
what happened?
I went big, and then I was like, I'm taking my cash. And Lana was like, what are you doing? Keep it in. I was like, nope, I'm taking it and going away. Inanimate. It is inanimate. Inanimate. Doesn't sound like a word anymore. The more I say it, the more it just does not seem English anymore. Psychotic.
I just lost some doll fans.
If you're a doll fan, don't follow me. I'm not here for the doll community. Am I gonna get a lot of hate from the doll community?
Yeah, canceled.
Good. I got a lot of hate from the bird community.
Yeah.